And now, the Game of the Year award goes to The Last of Us Part 2.
Best Role-Playing Game. The nominees this year are Final Fantasy VII Remake, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royal, Wasteland 3, and Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Now, it is worth noting that this game world is incredibly large. It is packed with monsters, it's packed with quests, it's packed with a plethora of different things to do, 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 plethora of different things to do. Trust me, this is the pinnacle of cross-platform gaming right here. You probably won't see a game done better than this for a while now. Plethora of different things to do.
And Genshin Impact, the fighting mechanics are both fun and technical, okay? You have to learn how to switch between characters, whom all have different spells and elements and weapons mid-battle, position yourself to not get hit in fights, learn how elements mix with each other in order to attack weaknesses or fight effectively, kind of like a mini Pokemon. For whatever reason, it's very deep, and it has a lot of potential, and also has a lot of traits that I find to be more original in a game. Like, I haven't seen a lot of this in many other games.
Circle, 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 magic attack. Circle, 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 magic attack. Magic attack, magic attack. Hit, 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 use magic attack. Slice, slice, magic attack. Circle, 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 magic attacks. Hit, 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 the exact same shit.
I mean, if you think about it, Link basically has a set moveset which is already limited in the first place. Link basically has a set moveset which is already limited in the first place. Link basically has a set moveset which is already limited in the first place. Link basically has a set moveset which is already limited in the first place. Link basically has a set moveset which is already limited in the first place. Link basically has a set moveset which is already limited in the first place. Link basically has a set moveset which is already limited in the first place. You get a boomerang, you use the boomerang. 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 You get an arrow, you use the arrow. You get an arrow, you use the arrow. You get an arrow, you use the arrow. When you fight a boss, it's not about how well you control your own character, it's about like, whoa, the boss itself. Like, the boss puts you in this little mini game, you know, where you wait for an opening and you throw a bomb in his mouth, critical damage, and then, you know, rinse, wash, and repeat. When you fight a boss, it's not about how well you control your own character, it's about like, I don't know, the boss itself.
fighting game. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate.
Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition.
One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows.
Under Night in Birth. And here we go.
Cast of mechs fighting for glory with the world as our stage. Do you have what it takes to pilot your mech to victory? Control each limb independently. Kick and punch at the same time for a bonus bang of pain. Or string together combos that'll devastate your opponents. Each mech has its own special set of moves. Flaming uppercuts, teleportation, projectiles, suplexes, and more. And if you're low on health, don't give up. Pull both triggers and activate your ultimate. Kaboom! As you kick butt around the globe, you'll unlock new looks so that you're stomping the competition in style. Pick up rare, epic, and legendary skins to accent your achievements, as well as weird accessories to psych opponents out. Face off online against your rivals in 1v1 ranked. Go free-for-all, online, or split screen with your friends. Or compete as a team. And here's where it gets wild. Multiple players can control different limbs of the same mech. With shared mechs, you can go 2v1, 3v1, or 2v1v1. Or even 4 players in one mech versus the world. Don't have friends to play with? Go single player and battle your way through a story-based campaign where you'll not only face off with other mechs, you'll take on hordes of alien invaders that are here to try and eat your lunch. Welcome to Earth, you sons of... Mech City Brawl.
For Best Sports Racing Game, those nominees are Dirt 5, F1 2020, FIFA 21, NBA 2K21, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
When I was a boy in Italy, I loved SlotCars. I owned a polystyrene figure 8 track set. I bought many parts. I had 2 lanes, maybe 15 meters long. Of course, I would have bought more if I could. Bigger was better. My passion was Formula 1, but they were not in production, so I created my own. From wood and paper, using glues and resins, anything I could. When I first joined a SlotCar club, I was excited to finally play the real game, with real SlotCars. I cannot easily explain it, what it was like to be there, to race. It was fun. There is nothing out there that can reproduce the experience of racing a real SlotCar race. When you start, you won't stop yourself at the entry level. You will want to go further. It is all about speed. VSC was made because I think many people love SlotCar racing. It is the first real SlotCar simulation. It is what it should be like, as real as it can get.
Das ist Schatze. Aber nur einmal funktioniert es gerade. Jetzt kannst du eben, wenn du hier runter und dann hoch gehst, dann kannst du die Höhe einstellen. Das heißt, wenn du die Höhe hast, dann kann man vom Boden drauf fahren, von der Straße, aber wenn du es höher einstellst, könnte man von einem höheren Element fahren.
Du kannst auch mit
Was? Okay, jetzt bin ich gemacht.
Okay, das war nicht gut. Nein! Oh ja. Oh, wie seid ihr hoch?
Oh, ich bin runtergefallen.
Das ist gut.
Oh, die Münze. Ja. Ej, vaffanculo, ma Easy, Jesus. Oh, ma ecco. Nein!
Du hättest fast alle drei aufgeräumt mit den Leuten.
Here are the nominees for Best Action Adventure Game. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and The Last of Us Part 2.
Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Nioh 2, and Streets of Rage 4.
我们之间永远是不死不休之局。你不觉得这太可笑了吗？
不生则死，不战则亡。
愿我人族于此魂梦江海、万古河山之间，星火世传，
奋飞不辍。
给我退！
我见你妖力微弱，
这怎么样
？The world is threatened by fascists, monsters, and demons. Five heroes embark on a 30-hour turn-based RPG adventure. Puzzles must be solved. Characters must be upgraded. Chests must be grabbed. And epic battles must be won. But foes can also be captured and summoned in battle. Even bosses can be enslaved. No creature is safe from the party's greed and bloodlust!
Hey, hold on. Do you play as the bad guys? I don't want to beat up animals. Well, maybe they're all evil or something.
At the start of a game of Argentum Age, you are shown the 4 cards that will go into your starting hand, and you can choose to send any back to your deck that you don't want, and they will be replaced. I'm just going to send this one back since it has a mana cost which is very high of 9. I'm starting this game with 5 mana. I'll keep the other 3. So our opponent's going to go first. We'll see what he plays. He plays a mercenary into the center lane. The way Argentum Age works is you can summon creatures into the tiles on closest to your side of the board. So he can summon on any of these 5 tiles, I can summon creatures on any of these 5 tiles. Once you summon a creature, every turn it moves 1 space forward. The objective is to get to the enemy side of the board where you'll reach their seals. And if you reach the seal, you'll do an amount of damage to them equal to the amount on the seal plus the creature's attack value. So if this mercenary was to reach my side of the board, he would do 15 plus 4 damage for a total of 19. However, I'm going to place my disciple in the center lane also to block his mercenary so that they will end up meeting in the middle. Right there. Now it's his turn. His mercenary will move forward and capture the village. The board as well as creatures can have lands, and lands are tiles which give you different abilities, and you capture them by moving over them. The map starts with 3 village lands, and villages expand your hand size. So you have a default hand size of 4, and villages give you +1 to your hand size. He has played a Green Adder, which is an aggressive card because it has an attack of 7 but only 1 life. And he is hoping to capture this village and then to come down to this seal. And because the Green Adder has a lot of attack, he would do 7 plus 8 for 15 total. What I'm going to do, I think, here is I'll move my Disciple and I'll capture this village. And then I have the Duskwind Obelisk, which is a land card. And it makes it so that enemy creatures in the lane it's played in have -2 life. So I'm going to go ahead and play it here, and I'll get it to stay there permanently, and it will immediately destroy his Green Adder because the Green Adder no longer has enough life. Then I don't have enough mana to play anything else, so I will end my turn. Okay, so it looks like he's expecting these creatures to kill each other because they'll both I'll do 5. He's got 1 armor, so -1, so 4 damage, which will wipe him out, and he'll do 4 damage to me, which will wipe out my creature's 3 life. So he's planning to back him up so that he still has something in the center lane. However, I have some spells that I can use. And so while creatures move automatically, you get to influence their behavior with spells. And what I think I'm going to use is the Blessed Lance will give my creature first strike, meaning he will attack first, and since he'll kill the mercenary won't get to hit him. So you can see the skull that was on my Disciple disappears, indicating that he is no longer predicted to die this turn. And then I can go ahead into combat. Now, I still have enough mana to play something else, but I've got spells here. I've got 4 out of my 7 mana, and I could play one of these cards, but since they're all responses, I'm going to just hold on to them, and when he plays something, I'll see what I want to do based on what he plays. And if he reaches the end of his turn and doesn't do anything interesting, I could maybe just cast this, which will give a life boost. Okay, so he's just playing a Soothsayer over there. Oh, now he's playing Knife in the Dark. So that destroys the target creature, so he just wants to wipe this guy out. So I could play Desperate Evasion, which would make my creature move to a random tile, and that would dodge the Knife in the Dark. But even better, I have Outsmart the Guards, and what that does is that swaps the position of 2 creatures that are adjacent to each other, so I kind of dodge past his creature. And that's actually a very good play for me, because when I do that, it'll actually put his creature in the path of the Knife in the Dark, so it will make him kill his own creature. So that works out really well for me. Alright, nice. So that worked out well, and unless he really has something unexpected, I should be able to reach the end of the board with that guy. So let's have him move along, and then we drew a Mine. A Mine is a really good card. It's just a basic land, but it gives you +1 mana per turn. So it's kind of like a library, like a village, but it gives you mana instead of cards. And then, so I put it here because that's a fairly safe location for it. And then, because to capture it, he'll have to get somebody come all the way down here. And then I think I'll play this mercenary to help just defend it. And then I have a couple of responses just in case he does anything tricky, like try to kill this guy, I could dodge him out of the way. Okay, he's playing a cave troll there, so that's a pretty big creature that also regenerates himself every turn. And then he didn't do anything threatening to me, so I think I'll just play the Blessing of Endurance on this guy to give him some more life. I might as well use my mana before the start of my turn. So, let's see, I drew a creature to his Soothsayer is starting to be threatening over here, so I'm going to block it off with a Man-at-Arms. And the Man-at-Arms has a special ability where when you play an equipment spell on him, he automatically gets an additional buff. So equipment spells are special kind of spells that can only be played on creatures that have just been summoned. So I have this Trusty Shield equipment, and we'll see how our devotion system works here, where you'll see these 3 little dots on the card just above the mana cost. They indicate that it has a Materia devotion cost of 3. So Materia is one of the schools of magic, and so ordinarily this card costs 3, but for every Materia devotion you have, its cost is reduced to 1 by 1, and it can go all the way down to 0 cost like it is in this case, because you see my devotion here is 3. You have 1 devotion for each creature or land you have of that school of magic. So I have 3 Materia creatures. My Mine is Materia, my Mercenary is Materia, and my Man-at-Arms is Materia. I also have 1 Entropia devotion from this, and 1 Aether devotion from this guy. So that really benefits me heavily that I can now play this Trusty Shield for 0 mana. So I play it on this guy, and he's going to get buffed right up so that he will easily defeat the Soothsayer. Then I think I will play my Oil of Anointing is a spell. It's not a response spell, so I can't play it once he plays something, but I can play it right now, and it will give one of my creatures more life and cover. Cover means the creature cannot be targeted by enemy spells. So I think I'll play it on my Mercenary, so he can't do anything nasty to wipe out my Mercenary. And then I can move this guy, he got the seal for 15, strike him for 15. And then also, creatures normally stay in the lane they're summoned in, but I have this Tactical Maneuver card, which can move a creature to an adjacent lane. So I don't really want him to fight the trolls, so I think I'm going to maneuver him over to there, and hopefully he can get to the end of the lane. And then I have this Desperate Evasion, which can dodge if needed. So they're going to fight, and he's going to win pretty easily. He has 3 armor. Oh, but then he's got another Knife in the Dark. So this is actually where Desperate Evasion can dodge the Knife in the Dark, so it will make it fizzle out. So let's do that. We don't know where he'll go, but he went there. That's pretty good. And so then, because we got the Mine and we have a decent amount of Materia devotion, we have enough to play her, and she gives all of our creatures a +3/+3 buff, as well as being pretty powerful herself. So let's put her to fight the troll and defend our Mine.
Now is the time for battle.
So unless he has something convincing, we're just going to win now. Yeah, okay, she had nothing, so we should be able to just break through and wipe her out.
Round 1. Fight!
Sure, the pay is bad and I don't have much time to rest with our busy practice schedule, but it's all for the fans.
The manager thinks he's doing the new girl a favor by having her replace me as a center. They both have another thing coming.
We've spent so long practicing for this concert, but the venue seems kind of sketchy. That lighting rig looks like it could collapse at any time.
Ever since we hit the top of the charts, we've been getting way more exposure. We even got invited to appear in a talent show with other idol groups.
Huh? One of the judges is the leader of a rival group? Well, that doesn't seem fair.
Recently, I've been spending a lot of time with our manager, and he's always there to vouch for me. I think we're even starting to become close. Is it okay for us to start going out like this?
Ever since I put that kid in charge of managing an idol group, it's been one negative headline after another. But the group seems to be turning a profit, despite constant bad press. Did I make the right decision in backing someone that inexperienced?
I always dreamed of being part of the greatest idol group in Japan! But I ended up here instead.